movies out.
It would have been a different movie. We went to 20 minutes talking about this. This is a condensed version. We're actually going to listen to this article, read the article 5 hours ago. This is the problem we've been talking about. These committee movies by committee. How many people wrote this one, the first one? Two or three, right? Do you want to look that up and confirm it for me?
Well, I got to get my phone.
How many people? It was George Lucas and Steven Spielberg. Had Steven Spielberg written this might have been a better movie. Crystal Skull made more. Crystal Skull made $100 million opening weekend. This one is making about 60. Well, keep in mind, this is a 5-day weekend, so we got 4th of July coming up on Tuesday. And every time I sit down, my nose just drains right here, so I sound like I have a cold. I'm sorry. This is why I stand up and have Rob take over so much. I'm sorry. I don't mean to. I'm not pushing off on him. I just can't breathe. So, sniffle, get over with. All right. Now, do you think that people are going to be satisfied with that now that I'm assuming everybody's watching this now that they've seen it. If you haven't, skip it. It's not good. The beginning's okay. It's kind of fun to see that. The end's, the very, very, very end. The middle is about 4 hours of Rise of Skywalker, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, 35-year-old Phoebe Waller-Bridge telling 90-year-old Harrison Ford to know your place and stay in your lane. I don't want to be in the movie anymore. I am going to steal your artifact and I'm going to sell it to the black market because I owe Jabba the Hutt money and you don't. And I'm going to take over for you, Han Solo. No, boo-boo. Stick your head in doo-doo. Indie creators now will make the next big thing. I think so. I agree. It'll be something more performative, performance arty, gaming, something in that sphere. It's going to be something in there. It's going to be something, not a sit down in a theater for 2.5 hours of your day when you could spend that doing anything else. You could go for a walk. I got 8,000 steps in yesterday. Hey, guess what? I got 8,000 steps in yesterday. I am proud of myself for that. And I got to watch something I enjoy. And I actually got 9,000 steps in, apparently. I got 9,000 steps in yesterday.
Yeah.
There you go. I haven't been doing too hot for the rest of the week. But, 9,000 those 2 days. Mm-hmm. 9,000 and 8,000 that day. The rest of the week's been like 4. 4's not terrible.
2 guys.
4, 5. Not terrible.
2 guys wrote Raiders of the Lost Ark. George Lucas, story by George Lucas, and Philip Kaufman, screenplay by Lawrence Kasdan.
Okay. Not 7 million people. We counted them. It was 20 people who wrote Dial of Destiny. How does Karen Allen say it's going to be better? What do you say, film who?
Philip Kaufman. He wrote screenplays for Outlaw Josie Wales.
So somebody who actually knows
the right stuff.
So somebody who knows how to keep a movie
somebody knows
flowing.
How to pace a movie. Yeah.
The 20 people that they had piece these things together, this could have been for streaming. I guarantee you at some point of production there was a talk where they said, well, how do we make it so what if we need to cut this up for streaming? And you'd have the back in time part, the train thing. You think that'd be 1 episode?
Probably.
Or 2 episodes maybe. This might be like a 40-minute episode streaming thing. And they'd probably fill out a little bit longer.
Dial of Destiny was written by Jez Butterworth, John Henry Butterworth, David Koepp, and James Mangold.
And more, probably.
There's
more that we count in the credits.
Most likely, yeah.
Yeah, there's a few more we count in the credits, and a few more punch-up people that they didn't. Yeah. And whoever edited it and whoever pieced it together, because I would guarantee this is something they could have had from streaming. It has delivered many callbacks and Easter eggs to previous indie adventures, and one of those is an appearance by Marion Ravenwood. But that was a reshoot that we got confirmation.
That's a reshoot.
From John Williams, because he had to do new music, didn't he?
Yeah, that's a reshoot.
He had to do completely new music for a new tone of the movie. It had to end on a new note, didn't it?
Yes. That was a new. That was
all new composition.
That was an all new composition. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure.
At least it sounded like. Confirm if anybody can confirm or deny that part on me. Was that a new piece of music? Any of the music people who know the soundtracks way more than I do. I'm not the soundtrack aficionado. I should be, but I don't know. The music just seems like a piece of the movie, doesn't it? It seems like focusing on one of the pieces of a puzzle instead of all of it at once. For me, and that's a little too difficult for me to kind of just focus on without the rest of the movie there to have around it, because it's kind of written anyway, it's written to fill out the back of the movie. Mm-hmm. I'm going on a tangent. Too many. Star Trek Picard has 20 producers, don't they? Oh, they're awful too. Picard was terrible. I wish she was more part of the story, the adventure of the story. Oh, she wasn't even in it. Here you go. Where are we? One thing that bothers her about the involvement in the 5th Indiana Jones movie. As he hangs up the fedora one last time, it was only fitting that his original love should put in an appearance. Dial of Destiny. It seems like they tacked her on in both of these movies, though, twice. Yeah. The last 2 times. It's like they've just kind of forgotten about her twice. But then again, they forgot about her in the second 2 movies. So it's like, well, they're tacking her on for people who like the first movie, forgetting that the second 2 movies had nothing to do with her. So, what if you've only seen the second 2 movies? Again. I don't know. That's the kind of the problem with these movies now, going back so far later. I wish you were more part of the adventure of this story. I have a sense of gratitude to play her again. She's such a vibrant, wonderful character. It would have broken my heart to see her just vanish into the ether. Yeah, because they would have not even mentioned her. That's the thing. It would have been much different. It's fair to say that among many, the nostalgic throwbacks of the movie, seeing Alan and Ford reunited once again is what everybody wanted to see, despite the unusual initial denials that this is what they got. But speaking to Variety, Alan explained that if Steven Spielberg had remained at the helm, it could have been much different. She would have been there to begin with. Calling you in some farewell feathers for you as I must go to work and endure the long dark of Marion, you and keep up the work and kind of. Oh, thank you so much, Colin. You and have a good day at work. I'm so bad at reading that way over there. I got the new glasses and I still can't see. But they're good as sunglasses and they're okay far away. It's just reading. Like it's okay-ish. They're not as good as the others. So if I mispronounce stuff, I just can't see anymore. I told them I couldn't see out of it. Oh, well. Nobody listens to me. I'm going to cry now. That's okay. Nothing to do with the article.
I mean,
when Steven was going to direct the film, I think the scripts were more focused on the Indy and Marion story. But when Steven stepped aside and James came in, he started with fresh new writers, and they just went in the direction that they went in. Told you.
I'm going to do what I want. I'm going to do what I want.
You guessed it.
And I want to do it. And I want to do Old Man Indy.
You guessed it. So they had a completely different story, and then Steven, they said, yeah, you can't do that, Steven. We want to do this. James Mangold was more agreeable. Steven Spielberg was like, you know what? I'm not going to argue with Kathy.
Kathy,
I'm not arguing with you.
The only thing I have to say to you is two creams, 1 sugar.
You're not even good at that. And she wasn't even
She's
good
not
at that.
She's not even good at making coffee. And so Steven Spielberg said, see you next Tuesday, Kathy.
And she's not even good at making coffee. How sad is that? She's not even good at making coffee. Oh.
Glorified coffee girl.
He was going to direct the film. The scripts were more focused on an Indy Marion story, but when Steven stepped aside and James came in, he started with fresh. Yeah, they're going to tell a different story. It's not to say that I'd ever read a script that Steven was working on, because I didn't, but I just knew from conversations that we'd had that an ongoing story had involved Marion in a much bigger way than the story we ended up with. And she doesn't care and isn't under contract to them to not say anything.
I could picture Indy.
And looks fabulous for her age.
I can picture Indy arguing with Marion about going on another adventure. Indy, you're not gonna leave me here to go off globe trotting.
See, she looks at 70 how women looked like at 50 back then.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Or 45 even, right? She's like, even back then. Harrison Ford returns to the Indiana Jones franchise with Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. It was originally meant to be the last adventure. However, the divided feelings of audiences is something that was mirrored by Ford himself.
I don't think it's divided. I think
everybody hates it. I think they're going to like the end and the beginning, and that's it. 6 years ago, I thought that maybe we ought to take a shot at making another one. No. And I wanted it to be about age because I think it rounds out the story we've told, and we brought it to the right place. I mean, the last one ended in kind of a suspended animation. There was not a real strong feeling of the conclusion or closure I'd always hoped for. Yeah, he wanted to kill off Indy.
Yeah.
Because he wanted to kill off Han Solo. So, you know what? Maybe if he doesn't want to do any more of these, you can tell he doesn't want to do this. You can tell he was not invested in being there. Just rename him Indy Percocet, for crying out loud. He did not want to be there. He's yelling at hippies for listening to Magical Mystery Tour.
That must have cost him $250,000. There's money well spent.
Marion would have been partying with those hippies. Wouldn't have she? Because this is a woman who we find drinking with men in what country is that? Morocco.
Yeah, Morocco.
Tangier.
It's in Morocco.
Middle East.
Tangier's Morocco, yeah.
In the Middle East, she is to all. In all fairness, I think she's the Princess Leia.
Oh, Marion was drinking Nepal.
Oh, Nepal.
Sorry,
yeah.
my bad. I confused the two movies. She was doing the drinking game in Nepal.
Yeah. We find her drinking. This is me just not having any brain power left for these movies anymore. I'm sorry if I could get a little detail. That's why Rob's up here, because I'm going to misspeak and I'm going to say Morocco instead of Nepal. But we find this woman there, and I would assume she would have been, hanging out, listening to the Magical Mystery Tour. She would have been at Woodstock or something. She would have been having fun with her life. So that little tail end that they do come in and she's like, "Are you back, Indy? Because I don't want to be married to some old poop." That's the only part of this that seems realistic, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That she's like, "Oh, you're this now? I'm outsies. Bye." She left him for a hockey player half his age.
Yeah.
Because he ran over and died.
Left him for Gordie Howe.
Or something. She was there throwing her bra at Jimi Hendrix because
Well, no. I picture her being like sort of the den mother, No, but no, really, the older lady that just kind of.
Oh, you guys are into that. I was drinking in Nepal.
Oh, you guys.
Oh, I was smoking that in Nepal. Here, have a hit off of this. Yeah, because
passing with like a thing of opium or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. That's how she would have been. Because if she's in Nepal, well, God, first off, in Nepal. This is me remembering. There's Tibet. It grows freely in Tibet, weed, because Josh Gates went into Tibet looking for the Yeti or something, or the abominable snowman, and it was just growing freely. It was just flowing everywhere. So she would have been smoking it in one of her adventures anyway. She would have been smoking up with the kids, listening to the rock music by then, because she would have been fun. Indy is not fun. Indiana Jones is not fun anymore.
No, it's not.
And this just confirms it. Better or worse, the journey is now done.
She was also stuck in Nepal, too, though.
Well,
she's trying to raise enough money to get back to the U.S. Yeah.
You mean she wasn't just sitting around waiting for her parents who left her?
No, she wasn't. She owned a bar. She was trying to get out of Nepal and get back to the U.S.
But she owned the bar. I mean,
she owned the bar. I don't
that's
know
the thing. Well, that's the thing. Is she really trying to get back to the U.S. if she's owning the bar?
I don't know.
Or is she just trying to make a lot of money in Nepal and have fun?
Make a lot of money in Nepal, I guess. I don't know.
That's another conversation for more. See, this makes us talk about the better movies again. This is Star Wars all over again.
Yes.
This is Star Wars all over again. She's Princess Leia. They've done disrespected her, and I'm gonna go back to my live chat. Don't you go anywhere.